A $1 million retirement sounds like the finish line, the magic number, the moment you finally exhale. And every retirement video on the internet wants to tell you the same thing, that it's not enough anymore, that you should be panicking, that you've already lost. I want to say something different because in 2026 America, $1 million isn't what your parents thought it was, but it also isn't what most YouTube videos tell you. It's something quieter than that. And honestly, for most of you watching, it's probably a lot better than you've been led to believe. You're not behind, you're normal, and the math just shifted in your favor. Let me set the table for you. Today we're walking through what a real $1 million retirement actually looks like in America right now. The income it produces, the lifestyle it buys, the bills that eat into it, and the part nobody talks about that quietly makes the whole picture better. We're going to look at the new safe withdrawal number that just changed in 2025. We're going to add Social Security to the math because almost every retirement video pretends it doesn't exist. We're going to subtract the healthcare bill that nobody wants to face. And by the end, you'll know exactly where you stand and what one specific number you should write down this week. Let's start with where most people don't want to be: confused about whether they're behind. So let me give you the number first. Less than 5% of American households have $1 million in retirement accounts. That's not opinion, that's the data pulled from the Federal Reserve's Survey of Consumer Finances and analyzed by EBRI. Less than 5%. For $2 million, it drops to under 2%. For $3 million, less than 1%. So when you hear $1 million retirement and feel like everyone else has it figured out, they don't. The median American household near retirement, ages 55 to 64, has somewhere around $185,000 saved, not a million, not even close. If you're sitting at $200,000, $300,000, $500,000 right now and feeling behind, you're in the middle of the actual middle. Most people watching this will never cross the $1 million line. So if you have crossed it, or you're on track to, you're in the top 5% of the country. Sit with that for a second. The first reframe is just that. The $1 million conversation isn't about catching up to the average. It's about understanding what a top 5% retirement actually does for you. Now, here's where it gets interesting. For 30 years, the standard answer to how much you can spend from $1 million was simple: the 4% rule. Save a million, pull out $40,000 a year, adjust for inflation, and the historical math says you don't run out for at least 30 years. Easy, clean, quoted in every retirement article ever written. The guy who created that rule, a financial planner named Bill Bengen, published his original research back in 1994. And in August 2025, after running the numbers again, with better data and broader portfolios, he raised his own number. The new safe withdrawal rate isn't 4%, it's 4.7%. That's not a typo, and that's not a rounding error. That's a 17.5% raise on the income your $1 million can safely produce. And almost nobody is talking about it. Run that math on a real portfolio. A $1 million retiree at the old 4% rule was looking at $40,000 of first-year income. At Bengen's updated 4.7%, that same $1 million now safely produces about $47,000. Same portfolio, same person, $7,000 extra dollars a year you didn't know you had, and the math is right there. That alone changes what $1 million actually looks like day to day. But here's what nobody tells you. The 4.7% number isn't even the most important math on the page, because almost every retirement video on the internet does the same thing. They talk about $1 million in isolation, as if it's the only money you have. It isn't. The average Social Security retirement check in early 2026 is right around $2,071 a month. That's about $24,900 a year for a single retiree. For an average married couple where both spouses worked, you're looking at combined Social Security closer to $45,000 or $50,000 a year depending on benefits and timing. Now stack that on top of your $47,000 from a $1 million portfolio, a single retiree pulling 4.7% from $1 million, and collecting an average Social Security check is bringing in around $72,000 a year in retirement income. A couple is closer to $90,000 to $97,000. That's not the picture of struggle the internet wants to paint. That's a stable, middle-class American retirement. And I've been there in the math myself. I made the same mistake at 35, looking at my retirement projections, and only counting the 401k like Social Security was going to vanish. It probably isn't going to. Even worst case proposals, project paying out at least 70 to 80% of scheduled benefits. So when you do the honest math, $1 million plus a real Social Security check isn't poverty. It isn't even stress. It's the level where the late night calculator sessions quietly stop. Stay with me on this one, because we have to subtract a number before this picture is honest. Healthcare. According to Fidelity's 2025 estimate, an average 65-year-old retiring today will spend around $172,500 on healthcare across the rest of their life, and that's just for a single person. For a couple, the number is closer to $345,000. That figure has more than doubled since Fidelity first published it in 2002. And those numbers don't include long-term care, which is its own monster. Fidelity estimates roughly 70% of people who reach 65 will need some form of long-term care before they're done. So now, picture the $1 million portfolio honestly. You're not pulling $47,000 a year free and clear. You're pulling $47,000 a year while quietly setting aside a portion of that for medical premiums, deductibles, Medicare gaps, dental work, hearing aids, and prescription costs. For a lot of retirees, healthcare alone consumes $8,000 to $15,000 a year out of pocket, on top of Medicare premiums. That's the part most retirement videos skip. The good news, Medicare absorbs most of the catastrophic stuff after 65. The harder news, what it doesn't cover adds up over 25 or 30 years. So the real after healthcare income from $1 million plus Social Security for a single retiree is closer to $55,000 to $60,000 a year of actual spendable money. For a couple, closer to $75,000 to $85,000. Still solid, still middle class, just honest. I've been on both sides of this myself, once as the guy panicking about whether anything would ever be enough, and now as the guy who's run the numbers honestly. And here's what I want you to understand about that $55,000 to $85,000 figure. It's not a lifestyle, it's a location decision. The same $1 million plus Social Security lasts about 12 years in Hawaii, about 16 years in California, about 19 years in Massachusetts. But that same exact money, according to a recent analysis, using BLS expenditure data and state cost of living indexes, lasts 87 years in Mississippi and 88 years in West Virginia. Same portfolio, same Social Security check, 6 times the runway, depending on where you open the front door. Property tax, housing cost, grocery cost, healthcare cost, they all swing wildly by state. So when somebody on the internet tells you $1 million isn't enough to retire on anymore, what they're actually telling you is $1 million isn't enough to retire on in the most expensive zip codes in the country. That's true. It's also a completely different sentence than $1 million isn't enough. For most Americans willing to consider geography as part of the plan, $1 million plus Social Security funds a 30-year retirement comfortably in 36 states. That's most of the country. That's the part the doom videos won't say out loud. Here's the truth I want you to walk away with. A $1 million retirement in 2026 is not the fantasy your parents lived. It's also not the catastrophe the internet wants to sell you. It's a quiet, middle-class American retirement, roughly $72,000 a year as a single person, roughly $90,000 as a couple, before healthcare drags it down, to a real spendable number in the $55,000 to $85,000 range. It puts you in the top 5% of households. It funds 3 decades of life in most of the country. It does not buy yachts. It does not require panic. It buys you the silence in your head when you stop doing financial math at 2 a.m. And the math is right there. So here's the one thing I want you to do this week. Pull up the Social Security website, the official one, and get your real benefit estimate at your real claim age. Then pull up your 401k or IRA dashboard and grab your current balance. Multiply that balance by 4.7% to get your safe annual withdrawal. Add the two numbers together. Write the total on a sticky note. That single number, your projected real retirement income, is more honest than any headline you'll read this year. Look at it, sit with it, and then make decisions from there, not from fear. If this hit home for you, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. I drop new videos breaking down American money 3 to 4 times a week. Thanks for watching. Take care of your money this week, and I'll see you in the next one. See you next time.